Oh, it's a daily swole. Come join the daily swole. Don't be a fucking asshole. It's the daily swole. Beesh, it's a daily swole. Beesh, it's a daily swole. Beesh. Don't be a beesh. Come watch the daily swole. Don't be a beesh. I said don't be a beesh. Come check out the daily swole with Papa Sleazy. Oh, it's Papa Swoleo. Papa Swoleo. It's Papa Swoleo. Gonna get yoked like it ain't no joke. It's Papa Swoleo. It's Papa Swoleo. Papa Swoleo. Oh. Talk dirty to me. Talk swole to me. Yep. Oh. Papa Swoleo. What up, Mike, Colton, Trisha, Anthony, Passon? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? Here we go, Daily Swole. Papa Swoleo. Dropping some fucking pump tits on you in 3, 2, schwam.
These are the bullshit.
The sun is shining.
The bullshit.
The birds are chirping. The bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Aha. Testing. Test. Testing. Oh, testing. Testicles. Testing testicles. Thank you. Is this mic working? Testing testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 943 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and the slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. What up, beaches? Welcome to the Daily Sliggity Sleaze, live on Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. And of course, you can catch the podcast everywhere. Apple, Spotify, everywhere. And this episode is brought to you by the motherfucking Gain Train. That's right. How many of you have checked out the Gain Train? Brand new workout, nutrition, training, fucking awesome blog on swolenormousx.com. It's called the Gain Train. So you can go to swolenormousx.com, click on Gain Train, and you will see what's there. Dropping some heat already. Dropped some heat. Just launched it the other day, yesterday I think it was. And dropping some mad sauce over there. Just busting knowledge nuts all over your faces on the Gain Train. So if you haven't checked it out, go to swolenormousx.com and check out the Gain Train. And as the Spaniards like to call it, El Gain Train. Go check it out. Thank you for members. It's for non-members. It's for everyone. And it's some awesome fucking content. So holy shit, Facebook is really, the internet. Oh my goodness. Why are we Reddit out? I don't understand. I'm going to have to figure that out. Anyway, we're moving on. So if Facebook is being a bitch, go check it out on Instagram. Oh my goodness. Too bad. I was on a roll. Anyway. All right. So go check out the Gain Train. It's awesome. I hope you enjoy it. I think you will. It's pretty sweet. And today's episode 943, we're talking about training legs twice per week. Training legs twice per week, which is a topic of contention with some people because it has to do with frequency and volume. And you've heard a lot about full body workouts recently. Some people love full body workouts. Some people like doing legs twice a week. I hear people doing legs 3 times a week. There's a lot of back and forth with training splits, and that's program design. And just a reminder, tonight at 8 p.m. for those of you that are Swolenormous X members, we're doing a live masterclass inside the private Facebook group. Live masterclass on program design. So we're going to talk about training legs more frequently. We're going to talk about training legs twice per week. And training legs twice per week is a popular approach, and there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong when it comes to training frequency. It depends on your goal. So this all comes back to what your goal is with training. What is your goal with training? What are you trying to accomplish? And also what experience you have and how much time you have to train. So let's take a moment. And in the comments right now, how many times a week do you train legs? On a 7-day cycle, how many times a week do you train legs? I want to get a little context of who's watching and what you're currently doing, what the audience is currently doing. So if you train legs once a week, just put 1 time a week, put twice a week, put 3 times a week. I want to know who I'm talking to. And there really isn't a right answer because there's a lot of individuality. So there's your experience, there's how many times you have to go to the gym. If you have the entire week when you're able to go every day, you can have a lot of customizability. You can do it 3 days a week potentially. You could do it twice a week. You could do it once a week. You could do it 7 days a week, right? If you have the time availability or the access to a gym or the access to training slots in your schedule. Some people are very busy and can only make it to the gym really 3 days a week or 4 days a week, right? So that has a big impact. And I think what is really restrictive for a lot of people is putting yourself into a corner. You know, when you start a training program, okay, let's say you want to get in shape. Like, I'm going to do this bulking program. I'm going to do this cutting program. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And what you do is you force yourself to try to adapt to a program that's not realistic for your lifestyle. Have you done that before? You know, the gym or the program will say, go to the gym 6 days a week, and you really can only make it solidly 4 days a week. And then you stress yourself out. You try to overdo it, and you end up not even accomplishing you're not even accomplishing the fundamental aspect of the schedule. You're just falling short so you're failing even just on a fundamental level. It's really straining yourself. And that's a big problem. So your program has to reflect your ability to execute it. You can't be doing a 7-day-a-week program, for example. Let's say it's yoga twice a week, training 5 days a week, but you really only have the time. Really logically, some of you are extremely busy, and I'm aware of that, so I'm sensitive to that. And if you can only really get your exercise in 4 or 5 days a week, you're really setting yourself up for psychological failure, because you can definitely get a ton of results training 5 days a week, especially with strength training. That's really the most you want to do. You don't need to be doing strength training 6 days a week out of 7. You're not recovering enough. And if you are training more frequently, the trade-off or the rub, whatever you want to call it, the more frequently you train a body part during the week, the less volume you're doing in an individual workout. So for example, if you're doing legs twice a week, I see a lot of people putting twice a week, one and done, typically once. For me, if you're training legs 3 days a week, and I'm talking about training legs 3 days a week, I'm not talking about, I do a full body and I do 1 or 2 sets for legs. I'm talking if you're training your legs 3 days a week, you have a leg day or a leg focused day 3 days a week, you're going to fucking destroy yourself. Way too much. Way too much. You're not getting enough volume and enough strength output and enough recovery if you're doing it 3 days a week hard. If you're doing full body workouts 3 days a week, you're not touching on your legs that much. You might be doing a couple sets, so there's a little bit of an exchange there because you're not doing the same volume. And volume is sets times repetitions. That means, are you doing 20 sets in a workout or are you doing 3? Huge, huge, huge difference if you're doing 3 sets 3 days a week or if you're doing 20 sets 3 days a week. Obviously, if you increase the frequency and the volume, you're going to hurt something. You're going to burn out. You're going to blow something out. You're going to overtrain very, 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 very quickly. And that's where more isn't necessarily better. You're not recovering when you're training. You're not bulking. You're not building when you're in the gym. You're repairing and recovering and growing when you're out of the gym. So the whole idea with resistance training is you go into the gym, you crush it, and you get the fuck out so you could start the repairing process. It's not necessarily murder yourself. My body is going to adapt just because I'm exposing it to so much stress. No, your body is going to burn out and blow a tire, blow out an axle. The engine's going to blow. You can't just keep on pushing. You're going to fuck yourself up and you're going to break. And that's where a lot of people end up, especially when they're doing high intensity training, just random programs online. They don't know what their limits are. They're beginners. They're doing CrossFit classes that aren't taught properly. And people do these group exercise things. And one of the issues with these types of high intensity group exercise type gyms or CrossFit or whatever you have it, because there's a ton of spin-offs, not just CrossFit. Everyone has a freaking group exercise, high intensity, free moving shit, there's not enough individuality. There's not enough individual attention. You come in and you're just in a group of people and you're pushing yourself, trying to compete with yourself and others and for time and shit like that. And you get hurt and you do it too frequently. And when you have an unlimited membership to those places, you have a few classes a day, they say, hey, you get an unlimited membership. They just want your business. Unlimited membership, come as often as you want, once a day, twice a day. That's great. No, it's not great because you're doing everything all the time with minimal rest, and people don't know how to program themselves. People think more is better, more money, more height, more strength, more this, more that. There's very few things in life where you want to have less in terms of just the human American, right, capitalistic concept, right? More, more, more. Doing more will get more. Doing extra will get more. When in reality, your body recovers when you rest. You're building when you're resting. So when you bias your training and your protocols and your nutrition and everything and your sleep, recovery, foam rolling, yoga, recovery, active recovery, you're still making improvements, but in a different concept, okay? So if your goal isn't just to beat yourself up and fuck yourself up all the time, and you bias your training, your programming towards recovery, repairing, fixing, that is the ticket. That's the key, because that shift and that complete change in approach will set you up for long-term progress. And that's what it's all about. It's repairing. The repair process, which is what most people fail at. Most people aren't eating properly. That's repair. That's fuel, but it's also repair. Most people don't sleep properly. That's fucking repair. That's pure repair. So if you're not sleeping properly, or you're not hydrating properly, you're not eating properly, it doesn't matter what you're doing in the gym, you're not going to get the benefits, right? You're going to hit a wall, you're going to plateau, you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to lose strength over time, you're going to feel burnt out or sore and whatnot. So there's a lot of aspects where the entire mental shift, that's why we talk about the brain so much and your psychological approach to training, that rest is what gets you to grow. And if you're training legs twice per week, that is really, I mean, in my personal experience and opinion, that's really the most you want to do a focus. If you do leg day, you don't want to do leg day 3 days a week. And 1 day a week for most people, and for most of my career and life, that was it. 1 day a week, boom, that was, you crush your legs, fine. I don't like that kind of murderous approach anymore. That's not my bag. Okay, I've been lifting for almost 20 years, and that kind of overload, stiffness, that kind of excessive destruction, I'm adapting, I'm adjusting. It's not for me anymore. It's more about modifying and mitigating the volume a little bit and changing the focus. So if I'm really sore, sometimes I'll go in and I'm still a little bit, stiff. It's not necessarily a squat day for me. So a good approach to legs twice a week is not necessarily squatting twice a week. You can do still heavy, but for me, I'll usually try to alternate or do some kind of like every other or 2-in-1. I'll do workouts where I focus on squats as the main strength component, or deadlifts or RDLs. And the other day, or one of the other days when I want to go and I'll train hard, but I don't feel, maybe I had a really hard back workout, I just feel a little stiff. I'm sure a lot of you go to the gym sometimes, and I mean, drop in the comments, let me know where it's just not a squat day. It's, you just don't, either you don't feel like it, you don't have that inspiration to crush squats and to really push yourself. It's a lot of stress on the body. And I have that often, okay? I just don't feel like going and crushing squats. I still want to crush legs, but I want to be a little bit more tactful, and I don't want to necessarily focus on something that I don't want to. I'm not going to force myself. So some days it's just not a squatting day. Something about it, I'm just not into it. So I'll do things like heavy hip bridges, okay? I'll do heavier single leg squats, or I'll do heavier, walking lunges or dumbbell, something else. I'll still train hard, but I focus more on glute work. I'll focus more on something more of an accessory, but a foundation to a squat, something basic. I'm not going to go and do crush leg extensions or something. It's important to still do free weight exercise and focus on those basic compound movements, but hip bridges are amazing. I did super heavy hip bridges today. I did staggered hip bridges. I did skier squats with dumbbells, and I did close stance RDLs with dumbbells, and it was fucking phenomenal. I had a great workout, and I'm pushing to failure, and I'm doing sets really with a good amount of volume, and I'm doing workouts with a good amount of volume, but I'm not necessarily beating myself up to the point where I can't walk, where I'm like shaking. I'm not I don't lift to be in a wheelchair anymore. And I used to. I used to do legs once a week, and I would just obliterate myself. I would just put myself into a freaking coma. And I've been sore to the touch. When you stick my finger in, I would be sore on my quad. I'd be sore to the touch for 7 to 9 days, which is not, that's almost major trauma. I would be so freaking sore. And I'll attribute my ability to recover and to go through that. I mean, this is in college when I wasn't sleeping well. I wasn't eating as well as I should. I was eating inflammatory foods. It was the calorie game. I was eating a lot, bulking season. And I was reading every Flex magazine. I was trying to get big, 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 big. And those fundamentals can work, but you also get a lot of bloating and acne and just you're growing and your testosterone's pumping hard and you're eating greasier foods and less quality at college cafeterias, and you're not sleeping. You're going to sleep at 3 or 4 a.m. You're going to class, coming back crashing hard because you're exhausted. Then you get up and train, and you know the deal. You've been young before. If you're not young right now, you know what it's like to kind of just plow through life and just your body can handle it. And as you start exposing yourself more to life and you start exposing yourself more to weights, you have that history. I have a history. I have a history in the gym. It's like layers of sediment when you go and you're an archaeologist and you look through the different layers of what you're digging up and you see, oh, there's an ice age here, this, that, and the other. We all have layers of our life. We all have layers of our training. And I have different layers of hardcore, intense training. Those days are in the past. I still train hard, but I train with a much more targeted approach. I train with a much more direct approach. I go after my training in a very specific way, psychologically and physically, that's going to perpetuate me and push me forward and help me make progress, maintain my muscle mass, make progress, and complement my current lifestyle and current goals. And my current goals are really to make it to the gym, to have a great workout, to film content, to have energy, to be positive, to build my network and my business and provide for my members and all that stuff. I have different priorities than I did 10 years ago when it was just like, bulking is life, lifting is life. And I still feel like lifting is life and fitness is life and all those things. But my individual approach has changed. I didn't used to do legs twice a week, but now I do. I still train hard, but I split up the overall volume. So it's twice a week, but I'm not doing, I'm just going to exaggerate here, 50 sets on Monday and 50 sets on Friday. I might be doing 15 on Monday and 15 on Friday. You see what I'm saying? Or Thursday, whatever it is. So you split up, you're doing more frequency, but I'm modifying the overload. I'm modifying how much I'm doing in an individual workout. And that's how you have to approach your leg day, any body part. And legs are the foundation of what you are as a human being. That you use your legs to walk, so you have to take care of them. And if you blast your legs all the fucking time, your knees are going to be affected. Your back is going to be affected. It takes a toll on you. So it's very important to focus on things like the glutes. That's why I use one of those workouts whenever I feel just not up to just doing heavy squats or hardcore squatting or spinal loading. I'll do heavy hip bridges and I focus on glute activation. I focus on targeting those muscles because that's what's going to keep my knees, my back, my body healthy, the base of my core. Done so many episodes on the glutes. So if you have any questions or if you're curious about it, make sure you go and look at some of the episodes that we've done recently on glute activation. Super important. So I use those opportunities to be consistent with my leg training and also focus and target certain things like hip extension, the posterior chain, and so forth. Movie Buff 91 on IG. Overtraining was my big issue when I first lost weight. I was impatient and forced myself to 2-a-day training. Now I'm trying to learn to be more patient. Yeah, 2-a-days, completely unnecessary. There's so much about more. 2 workouts a day, it's not necessary. Unless you're doing strength and some type of restorative yoga, you absolutely do not need to do resistance twice a day. If you only have the ability to go to the gym 3 days a week, but you can go on those days twice, you can consider doing twice a day, but you have to really segment and split your body parts properly with volume, separate them 8, 10, 12 hours apart, the workouts. Very important. Very important. Don't fall into these traps where like you do recovery rowing and you go and you fucking blast your cardiovascular system. You go back and you do all this like hardcore Olympic lifting and, you know, that kind of CrossFit style where it's just like 3 workouts a fucking day. You don't need it. You don't need it. That's how you break the body down. That's how you break the body down. That's how you cause fucking problems. We don't live in a vacuum. We don't live in a perfect world. None of you are professional athletes in that sense where you are ready for that or you need that. Anytime you're putting the body under stress, your body is designed to adapt to stress. However, and I want this to be the key, this is a huge key of this episode, your body is able to adapt to stress. But when it's under constant stress for extended periods of time, you can have major, major problems. It's just like that with nutrition. When you cut out some of these nutrients for extended periods of time, like keto or veganism, you can have serious, serious fucking problems. If you put yourself under pressure at the gym and you put yourself under stress, that's good, right? You need to put yourself under stress at the gym in order to adapt and to grow and to build. But if you put yourself under excessive stress for a long period of time, weeks, months, if you can handle it, eventually you're going to fucking strain yourself. Eventually you're going to burn out. You're psychologically going to be blasted. You're going to lose strength. You might fuck up your hormone system, right? You're just exhaustion, cortisol levels. So extended stress, you need to give your body enough recovery. Recovery is the key. That's why people have deloading weeks. That's why we have these classic rest days. But that's why I'm also promoting yoga. So you're still moving and you recover by doing these movements, by working on mobility on a regular basis. So it's not overload. Yoga and mobility isn't overload. It's restorative to help you recover faster and, you know, mitigate the risk of injury moving forward. Because if you're more mobile, you have more core integrity and range of motion, you're less likely to get hurt, which keeps you consistent. If you get hurt, you're less consistent because you're recovering from an injury. So you don't want any setbacks if you can prevent it. I feel the need for a deload week coming very soon. Good. And if you feel the need coming soon, then you might want to take it now. A lot of times if you think, oh, I feel like I'm a little bit, you're already past it. Your body is just kind of getting around to letting you know. Never wait till it's too late. If you're not sure about, I should take like a couple days off and you think you maybe should, then you should. Because the worst thing that can happen, the worst, which is not bad at all, by the way, but the worst thing that can happen is you back off for 1 or 2 days, do a little bit of yoga, and you feel amazing. You're just itching to get back into the gym. Cool. And you fucking go back into it. The worst thing that can happen is you wait too long and then you end up hurting yourself and you set yourself back. You're like, shit, I should have taken a day off. I've done that before. When I felt like, maybe I shouldn't go to the gym. My legs are a little bit tight. You know, I can loosen them up and go. And I'll go and I'll be doing squats. And all of a sudden my knee will start bothering me a little bit. I'm like, fuck, I should have listened to my body. So you have 1, 2, or whatever experiences like that. And you don't want to have that regret because maybe it's not a little bit of tendonitis. Maybe it's not a little bit of ache. Maybe it's a fucking ACL or a meniscus. So if you have that thought in the back of your head, just think of that karma. That's not good energy. There's a reason why it's in your head. Your body is telling you something. So if you have a better connection and you're paying attention to your body more, that's extremely important. You have to listen to it. Boom, boom. Testicles and tits. Richard, able to make it to the gym train? You are? What? Was that a comment or a statement or what? Early one today? I know. Papa Swole was a little bit on the early side. So if you are, in closing, just to wrap up that those concepts, make sure that if you are training more frequently, make sure you are adjusting the volume. Make sure you are downing the volume and how much you're doing on an individual day. I'll take some questions if you have them so you can post them up. Just make sure that you are not doing hard twice a week and you're going hard 3 times a week and you're doing more frequently. That's not how this works. You drop the volume, you increase the frequency, and less is always more. Less is always more. You can always do more next time. Don't overdo it. When in doubt, do less and adjust later. Yeah, I've had those days too. First set partway through and it's just like, nope. Yep. And you have to listen. You have to, you know, focus on that. You have to listen to what your body says. Do I ever incorporate box squats? Rarely, but I have. Not regularly. Those are okay. Those are okay. A lot of people tend to just go outside. I don't want to say outside the box, but a lot of people tend to add all these extra types of squats and things when it's really not net. Do you need to do box squats to build? No, you certainly don't. No, I'm not going to scroll back, Richard. I can't see that on the feed. You have to type it again. So box squat, you don't have to get too fancy. You don't have to. Box squats is pretty fundamental, but I mean, don't replace regular squats with box squats all the time. And just make sure when you're squatting, make sure when you're going down low, you don't have to touch your calves with your thighs. You have to make sure that your back stays aligned and only go so far down before you've ever seen the butt wink when your tailbone kind of tucks under. You don't want to go that low. If you're starting to get to that point, you're going too low. You don't have the mobility to go deeper. So don't go that low, because that little tweak, that little tucking is what's going to jack up your back when you start going up in weight. About how many hours do I train in a week? I don't know. I don't keep track of like the hours. I don't log hours. I'm not punching in like I'm going to work. I'll train 4 to 6 days a week, and I probably go to the gym for 1 to 2 hours. Tacos de Trisha. It's crazy how much yoga has been helping me get in touch with what is going on in my body. Like, oh, that leg's way tight today. That's a huge benefit. One of the reasons why I promote yoga so much. One of the reasons why I promote yoga so much, because you learn what your body is telling you a lot better. If you practice yoga, you will learn when things are tight and when you need more yoga. That's one of the best things about doing yoga. You learn when you need more mobility. So I know I'm like, oh, I'm super tight today. Fuck working out. I need to do yoga for a couple days. And that's it. I mean, it's that simple. It's that simple. Weighted hip bridges using a Smith machine. Do you elevate your shoulders on a bench or just use the floor? Yeah, I'm on a bench. I use a decline bench. I roll in a bench. I can go decline a little bit. You can use a flat bench too. And if you're using a Smith machine, make sure it's a vertical one. If it's slanted, fuck that shit. Slanted Smith machines are probably the worst thing you can ever do. Stupid shit. I don't even like regular Smith machines. Luckily, my facility has a 3D Smith. So it racks, but it moves like a free weight. It's just on a track. So it gives you kind of like a Smithy effect. So that's great for hip bridges, but I don't like things that are on a hard track. And for a hip bridge, you want the weight to be pretty much going up and down. So if it's on an angle, it makes it a lot more funky for the movement. How do I access Daily Swole 943? What do you mean? This is Daily Swole 943. Trying to increase what are you talking about? How do you access it? You're watching it right now. You're commenting on the episode while we're doing it live. I've never gotten a comment like that in my life. How do you access it? You're living it right now, fam. You're in the moment. You're in the Swole. You're fucking in here. Perfect topic for this morning. I was quite literally about to Google this topic. I don't have rest days, just different work days. So long as you're doing a lot of yoga and stuff on those days when you're not doing resistance training. Bow, bow. Jason, that was me on Monday deadlifts, and midway through second set, I didn't mentally have the focus or coordination, backed off completely and did other stuff. I've done that too. I'll be in the middle of a set. I'll be in the middle of an exercise. And if I feel a little bit like, oh, that felt a little weird, or oh, I don't feel, or in the back of my head, if I'm thinking, I hope I don't get hurt, or I just put the weight down, done. Anytime you have something creeping in the back of your head, just cut it. You don't want that. It's bad mental imagery. And if you have any kind of feeling or sensation like, ooh, something felt a little bit weird, rack the weight. You're done. Go and then reassess. Maybe you move a little bit, stretch a little bit if you feel okay, but don't risk it. Don't. It's not worth it. Not worth it at all. Not worth it at all. I'm finding with the single leg RDLs, I can't go as heavy as I need to maintain balance. I'm not sore using the dumbbells. I am able to maintain and balance through the movement. Is that a question? Not really sure what you're asking. You can't go as heavy as you need to maintain balance. You should be able to use 1 pound and maintain balance. So your mobility is lacking. You shouldn't use weight to create balance. You should be able to create with a single leg RDL. You should be able to have that movement with any weight, with no weight, period. So wait for balance to catch up, and then absolutely balance for a single leg exercise. It's about the whole point of the single leg is about the balance. It's not about the weight. It's all about the weight. Whenever you're training balance, and that's a big problem with people that do this kind of shit on Instagram. They show these balance exercises, but they're not training their balance at all. They're on a Bosu ball and they're fucking shaking and they're doing fast squats. Anytime you're doing some kind of like stabilization exercise fast, you're literally wasting your time. Literally wasting your time. I love seeing people stand on a Bosu ball and squat quickly. Complete waste of time. I fucking hate Bosu balls. There's maybe like on one hand exercise that you should be doing on that. That's such a gimmick. Such a fucking gimmick. For real. For real. That got way out of hand. The Bosu shit. Way out of control. There's some things that's good for, but man, people use that for fucking everything. It's like, geez. Let's see. All Smith machines and no power racks. What is that, like a Planet Fitness or some shit? What are your thoughts on trap bar deadlifts? I think they're great, depending on how wide your shoulders are, if it feel comfortable. Trap bar deadlifts can be great. Sometimes the bar can kind of slant a little bit and makes it a little bit hard to keep locked in. But trap bar deadlifts can be excellent because it brings the center of gravity, it brings that force back towards the body, so it's safer for your back. You can stay more upright during the movement. All Smiths sounds like Smith machines. Meh. Let's see. We got another question. Hold on, we got here. No, that's not a question. I was saying, as a truck driver, I can't guarantee workouts, but tend to make it work because, gains, but finding it hard to let go of the resistance training for active rest or mobility. Basically need to just rotate weights and active rest each time I'm able to go. Yeah, that's a psychological thing. That's the male ego. For real. That's the male ego. And the female ego, the human ego, it's all about the resistance. It's hard psychologically for a dude. Like, I'm not going to the gym and lifting heavy weights. I'm doing mobility. I feel like a fucking pussy. I'm not getting a good pump. Of course you're not getting a good pump. However, you're moving your body so you don't blow out your fucking back. And as a truck driver, your back is at extremely high risk because of that seated position. So you need really to bias all your training towards mobility, glute activation like crazy. So Richard, if you don't have those resistance bands, the lateral tube walking bands in your truck, like every time you get out of your cab to take a piss or something, you should do some lateral tube walking, some glute movements all the time. You should be fucking doing mobility as much as you can throughout the day. Anytime you get out, you're fucking doing some type of like mobility for 5 minutes, even like a 5-minute mobility, couple exercises to activate the glutes. Super important. Will I lose muscle if I cannot lift for 5 days? No. Just keep your nutrition on point. You don't lose muscle that quickly. You don't lose muscle. However, if you don't use it, you will lose it over time. And if you're eating properly, your body can maintain. I mean, if you're not lifting for 5 days, if you cannot lift, you can do some mobility. You could do some yoga. Depends on what you mean by cannot lift for 5 days. If you can't just make it to the gym, you can certainly do things at home and you're not going to lose progress or anything. Off topic, is it? For active recovery, we better do yoga than foam roll, or the other way around? Oh, you mean in sequence? I would recommend doing foam rolling first. If you're doing like foam rolling and then yoga, that's fine. Yeah, foam rolling you could do anytime. I would recommend foam rolling after a workout more than stretching. People work out and then stretch. You should just do foam rolling after a workout. Stretching right after, you're creating a lot of tension inside the muscles. It's not going to do too much. It's more important to foam roll and do some type of like maybe yoga flow, some dynamic movement right after a workout. Just because static stretching, you have so much tension in the muscles. Just doing a static hold, it's not going to do shit. So foam rolling right after would be more effective. If you wanted to do both together, foam roll before yoga would be good. Chicks dig guys who do yoga. Do they? Hey, if you're more flexible. I mean, everyone should just dig anyone that does yoga. It's more flexibility. Wow, 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 wow. Got a band in the gym bag. Good job, Richard. Good for you. Stop somewhere. Good shit. Oh, Planet Fitness, awful but cheap. Well, of course it's cheap because it fucking sucks. You know, it sucks. I don't like the mentality, the psychology behind it. A lot of the equipment that I keep on hearing about, I've never actually, I think I've gone into one like a couple times, but not to work out, to for some other purposes. I forget. It was some business a long time ago, but no, no. If your gym doesn't have a free way, I mean, you got dumbbells. Do dumbbells. If you don't have a squat rack, fuck the Smith. Just use dumbbells or go to a better gym. Simple. There's many gyms. If you're of a small town and the only fucking thing in your town is a Planet Fitness, I would invest in setting up a home gym. If you can't do that, you don't have the room, you don't have the funds, then just use the dumbbells. Do the best you can. I would avoid a Smith for 99% of the exercises, unless you're very advanced and you have tons of great mobility. Still, you don't want to do anything that's really locked in position. There aren't a lot of great applications for it. Yeah, Planet Fitness is the gym with pizza day and all that stuff and alarms and shit if you drop weights, and it's got a lot of bad press, but for good reason. I mean, it's pretty much a fat acceptance gym. And they want you to stay out of shape, and they charge you so little because people are that. And you ready? You want the truth? You want the straight truth? People are fat for a reason, because they don't go to the gym, because they don't eat healthy, and they don't go to the gym and work out. The majority of people that are overweight for a fucking reason, because they don't go. So Planet Fitness, business strategy, charge a very, very small amount. People are going to pay it. They're not going to cancel it. They're never going to go. So the gym is going to be always empty or moderate people going, and they just collect a monthly membership. Boom. You know, most people that are out of shape are out of shape for a reason, because they don't commit and they don't put in work. Shocker, right? So, you know, if you want a more serious environment, that's definitely not the place to go. But sometimes that's all you have. And can you get great results? Sure, there's still weights there. You just might not have a squat rack, which is still ridiculous. I mean, if you want to fucking get in shape and you want to lose weight, why would you not have a squat rack, right? Why would you not? I don't care if you're trying to accept everyone. You can still be Planet Fitness and have a fucking squat rack. My goodness, you want to help people? Help people fucking get in shape. Give them the weights that are going to help them make the most progress. Silly. Silly Willy. Silly Billy Bear. Understanding how important recovery has made a huge difference. Now I get massages regularly. Ooh, you fancy. You fancy, huh? Mike Stuttle, I was using the Smith machine for incline press, and I tore my rotator cuff in 3 spots. Those angles are all off. Sorry. Hell yeah. People hurt themselves on those things all the time. And we'll do another episode on this. We'll probably do a masterclass also inside Swolenormous X, but there's open and closed chain exercises. Another reason why leg extensions are dangerous. Even leg curls, you got to be careful doing those too often, because you lock in your body's position. If you're in a closed chain, if both aspects of your body, for example, if you're doing a squat on a Smith, your upper body is locked into a position, your feet are locked into a position. So the only thing that has left or the ability to move is your joint. And a lot of times it's restricted because everything else is locked in position. So they grind, they shear, and there's pressure. So it's sketchy. It's iffy. But anyway, make sure if you have not yet checked it out, go check out the Gain Train. So swolenormousx.com, 100% free workouts, training, nutrition, dropping a lot of amazing value in the Gain Train. So get on board the Gain Train. Go to swolenormousx.com and check it out. It's in the main menu. Click on Gain Train. You can subscribe for notifications when new posts go live. So it's super cool, and just another way for me to reference and to refer you to specific workouts, specific nutrition content. I'm going to be posting little clips from throwback episodes from podcasts that are really excellent. So it's very tactical, and it's great for helping you get started. So you can look up exercises based on if you're a beginner, if you're intermediate or advanced. It just launched the other day, so adding some more content to that regularly. But you can do searches, you can categorize them, and filter them too as well moving forward. So as the content grows, you could be able to check that out and get amazing shit. So go check out the Gain Train, swolenormousx.com. And I will see everyone tomorrow for episode 944 of the Most Muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. I'll see you tomorrow for 944. Remember, go check out the Gain Train, SwoleNormousX.com. Peace, McGee's fam. Deuce Magoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Out.